Hey everyone, it's Irfan here from MasterMaths, and we are very excited to welcome Anannya, who is a MasterMaths student. She just completed her PSLE math exams and she did pretty well, so let's hear from her. Welcome Anannya and Miss Priya to this very short sharing, and really congratulations on your PSLE results. So Anannya, perhaps you can introduce yourself, like which school you're from, what exams you take.
I am Anannya from Hougang Primary School. This year, I had been preparing for this major examination, PSLE. My journey for preparing for this examination started when I was probably in P4.
So how's your journey like in in this preparation for the exams, and perhaps you can list down some of the challenges that you face, Anannya, as a student?
It was a bit stressful preparing for the PSLE because all my teachers, all my friends, everyone was stressing about PSLE. Everyone was counting down the days to PSLE. And teachers were just giving us practice papers to practice
I see.
and everything. And
Yeah.
the challenges I faced were mainly for mathematics because
Really?
sometimes
Okay.
um, whenever I do a word problem, I am so eager to find the last answer that I just do everything on my calculator and just
Uh-huh.
write the last answer down in the answer space.
Okay. So perhaps like some of the steps were in your head and then you were doing it in the calculator, but you probably didn't had the habit of writing it down, right?
Yes, and also mainly my carelessness. I lost 11 marks in my prelim examination just because of
Okay.
my carelessness. And I learned my lesson from that examination.
Okay.
So I checked and rechecked all my answers in the PSLE so that I did not make any careless mistakes.
Fantastic, fantastic. Yeah. So basically challenges were like, you were doing the steps in your head, you didn't write it down,
And
and
then
some
I
carelessness.
mix match some numbers. And then
Yes.
when I write it down from the question, I always tend to change the numbers and I
Understand.
don't check it after that. But then in
Okay.
PSLE, I really checked all my answers, checked if I brought down all the numbers correctly. And also from the calculator, I checked whether I wrote down all the numbers properly.
Fantastic, fantastic. So the learning process was done well, right?
Yeah.
That you in the actual exams, in PSLE math exams, you ensured that you checked, and that 11 marks that you lost due to carelessness in prelims, okay, you ensured that that did not happen anymore. So could you share with people out there, like, what do you get for your PSLE exams at the end for math and probably the rest of your subjects?
For math, I achieved AL1, and also for my other subjects, I achieved AL1 in all of them.
Oh,
So my total PSLE score was AL4.
that's amazing, Anannya. So really a big congratulations to you and your family for this.
Thank you.
Certainly not easy to do this, and you actually learned well and corrected your mistakes, because this is a journey, right? It's not a destination that we are on. It's an adventure, right? So you attended the classes at MasterMaths. So can you perhaps list down some of the things that you found useful in the lessons that helped you?
In the lessons, whenever we have a question, we can just raise our hand and we will be explaining that question in no time. And also, there's always a sense of humor in the classroom, so we don't get bored inside the classroom.
I see. I see.
Furthermore, unlike other tuition centers, you don't get much homework.
Uh-huh.
So we get a few questions to work on so we can really understand that whole question and work on it properly instead of
Great.
just doing sloppy work and handing it in.
Fantastic. I really appreciated your efforts as well in the lessons. You were focused. Okay, you tried questions fast with a sense of urgency. I think that really helped as well. The student also has to play a part to do well, a major part, because you guys are the ones taking the exams, right? And last question for you, Anannya. I know it's like a pretty gruesome interview now. Uh, Last question. Okay, considering that you got the perfect AL1 for every single thing, and many parents, many students out there, they are looking to get this as well. That's their dream, right? To get perfect scores and become a top student. So what are some of your secrets that you can share with people and students out there?
Most people they tend to stress themselves out at the last minute, like one day before PSLE, a night before PSLE. So I think that if you be consistent, like you start studying like from at least P5 for your PSLE or even the start of P6, you'll be able to do well in the PSLE because you're not rushing yourself. And you should solve prelim papers before your prelims and also try solving the past year PSLE papers before PSLE. So you can see how the PSLE papers are like, and you can get an idea about how the questions would be like and the difficulty level of them. After you solve your papers, and if you have a doubt, you should not just look at the answer key and just write down the answer, because if you do that, you won't understand the answer very well. So I used to do, do you remember that huge thick book I bought
Yes,
in class?
yes.
Those
I
are
remember that
all
very clearly.
PSLE papers. I did all those, and then I had some questions, so I folded the pages and I asked you to explain it to me, because then only would I get a good understanding of that question and I will be able to do those type of questions in the future.
Fantastic. Yeah, so let me summarize your secrets, okay, for people. Number one is to start early, right? And to be consistent. There's no such thing as a last minute success story, right? I mean, things happen due to a journey and adventure again. And there's a lot of things to prepare for PSLE. It's not just one topic. It's so many topics, so many subjects. So if the student and family is expecting success for PSLE and doing it last minute, it's not going to happen, right? And second thing you mentioned is to expose students to like more different styles of questions, right? Prelim papers, PSLE papers, and to do this before the prelims. Third thing you mentioned is not just to look at the final answer, right? Look at the final answer and then write it down. No. Try it out first. Look at the steps that you're thinking of. See whether the steps itself make sense. And lastly, you mentioned also to clear your doubts. So you tried a huge stack of papers. I remember that very clearly. I was carrying it around with me, to home and all, to the center. To try papers, and not just that, to clear your doubts as well, because everyone may have some gaps, right? So it's not wise to just leave the gaps there and to brush it under the carpet, right?
Yeah.
So brush the problems under the carpet, right? So to clear the doubt, so that in the exam, if it comes out, we are confident about it. So really thankful for that advice that you have.
Actually, I have one more point.
One more point. Yeah, 5 points. Okay, go ahead.
Yeah, we should always manage our time well, because most people tend to do all the papers at one go, and then in the end they get like 75 or 80 at the practice papers they do at home. But instead of doing that, what I used to do was that I had 4 papers to do, one for each subject. And after doing one paper, I used to take a break of like 5 minutes or have a meal like breakfast, lunch, or dinner, depending on what time I'm doing the practice papers. And then I would go on to the next practice paper, and then I would continue doing that. And then after I finish all the papers, I will mark all the papers by myself. And again, if I have any questions in any subject, I'll ask those specific subject teachers.
I see. That's fantastic. Yeah, you mentioned the importance of taking a break, right?
Yeah.
Right, between papers. Why is it so important? Rather than cramming yourself, and some parents or students think that they need to go like a marathon kind of thing. All the way they're going, right? They're not taking breaks, yeah.
But if you relax before you do each paper, you'll not be too stressed when you do the next paper. Because if you continuously do all the papers, your hand will feel tired and you'll just feel so stressed about all the different types of papers, and you can't overwork your brain as well.
Yes, certainly. So that refreshed mind is important, right? Before we start any new practice and all. So great. That's 5 tips from you, Anannya. And this is something that is going to be useful for students, I'm sure, and parents out there as well. Okay, so thank you very much for this. And once again, a big congratulations to you. I hope you keep up your good efforts wherever your next school may be. Okay?
Okay.
Awesome, Anannya. Miss Priya, so you are mother to Anannya. And we also appreciate the opportunity to teach your dear daughter.
Thank you so much.
Just a couple of things to ask from you. First, like, how's your experience with the MasterMaths programs?
It was a wonderful experience. Actually, I came to know about the mastermind through the Facebook. She was not taking tuitions till P5. So my husband was basically clearing all the doubts or with the school teacher. We were pretty convenient with the school teachers also. So they were
Mm-hmm.
covering up everything for her. But when it came to P6, I thought that she needs some extra help. Even like all other parents, I was also a bit overwhelmed by PSLE. So I thought, why not take a try with the mastermind? And it was
Uh-huh.
really wonderful experience. I got to know you as a teacher, and you being a very patient teacher, my half of the tension really went away with that. So, yeah, because with Ananya, it becomes a bit problematic to tackle her. So, yeah, she's easygoing, but at sometimes, like, yeah, geometry was a weaker point, so I couldn't
Oh, I
cover up.
see.
Last year is my end of year examination. I got
Uh-huh.
97 because I lost 3 marks all in geometry.
Oh,
So
you
because
lost. Okay, I
yeah,
see.
she lost it. So that's the thing. So when it comes to that, I find mastermind was very helpful, especially you as a teacher. You
Uh-huh.
were very relaxed. You knew how to tackle her. Like
Yes,
whenever
yes.
she does, like her problem was mainly because of carelessness, focus problem. So you tackled her. You gave her much more guidance rather than just teaching like sirs. So I found it very very relaxing.
That's very nice to know, ma'am. Yeah. And again, it's a real blessing for us to teach Ananya because again, I do not think it's just the teacher that matters. The cooperation from the parents and the students and this kind of workflow is very, very important, right?
Yeah.
For any child to succeed. So the next thing, Miss Priya, since Ananya actually got that perfect score for PSLE, right?
Yeah.
What advice do you have for other parents who are, having children who are preparing for this exam, the PSLE exams?
Yeah, first of all, as a parent, I know everyone will be stressful during PSLE. But what I would like to tell the parents is that basically all children grow at their own levels. So, first, we should have the goal which should be achievable by the child. We should not look at the neighbor's child and make a goal for our child. And after all, the PSLE is just a starting of the journey. It is a long ahead that they have to go on. So,
Mm,
basically, the child should get all together they are stressed from the school also and other
yep,
system also, and when
that's
they
true.
have the pressure also at the same time at this age 11 to 12 years they have their emotional growth, physical growth, so all those things take into the account. So as a parent we should not give much more stress to them. Relaxing at the same time every evening you should talk to them, like what kind of challenges they are facing in their school, even at the home when they are doing themselves. And I
Mm-hmm.
find that learning should be done right from the childhood,
I
because
see.
they should know themselves that they are doing it for them, not for the
Mm-hmm.
parents, not for the school. It is their life. They should be independent. Parent, I made Ananya independent learner from right from starting.
I see.
So
How young was she, like, trained to be independent in, probably picking up her own things and eating herself and doing her own studies and all?
not independent, but yes, study-wise, she was quite independent from early.
I
She's also
see.
lieutenant and I'm also lieutenant. So as a parent, I was very happy so I could hold a pencil. But right from starting, she was a girl. She used to do everything on her own. She doesn't want any interference. Even if
Fantastic.
she does something wrong, it should be the teachers who tell her that she's wrong.
I
So she
see. I
was.
see.
So basically, she herself was an independent learner, and I
Mm-hmm.
thought that I should not intervene whenever she was doing project. I thought that even though I came to know her mistakes, I just used to advise her, but that
Mm-hmm.
because she's very strong-headed, so anyway she will not listen. So, but
Yeah.
still, she will have her own set of questions, and the teachers will tackle her more.
I
So that's
see.
how she
Wow.
independent learner right from starting, especially
Yeah.
maths. Maths is not my subject. I'm a science graduate.
Mm-hmm.
So, right from the starting, she used to do on her own.
And that
So,
really helped, right, at the end?
and she had affinity towards maths. So, So maths was a easy subject for her to tackle off. But
Fantastic,
yes,
fantastic.
little negative things are like carelessness and that and all. We used to advise her how to tackle it off, like seeing the numbers. Basically, the parents should not stress the child. That's what I
Yeah,
make.
yeah.
Once they get stressed, they are completely blanked out.
Yes, yes, yes.
That
Understand.
will never work.
And do you think like providing positive encouragements are important? Like despite the child, like let's say sometimes the child is not doing well and often like not meeting the targets. And how should a parent deal with that child? And is like constant scolding gonna help? And what do you think helps for Ananya?
Scolding and nagging it will never be helpful. Will never
Mhm.
be helpful. You have
Yeah.
to make the child understand. That's what as I told you earlier, the child should understand that where they are getting it wrong, because
Yes.
none of the children will do it purposefully. So there should be open communication between the parents and the child, and the parents should clearly note where the child is going wrong, because it is not necessary that the child, some may do at home, some children perform very well at home, but when they
Mhm.
go to school it will be a different scenario. And so it's a parent's duty to know what the child lacks in, and that's where the weakness is there, it should be worked upon, not the other way around. And
Understand.
finally it is not just a 2 hours paper or 1 hour paper that is make the child successful or getting the destiny out.
Uh-huh.
So the parents should understand that and work on it. At the same time, solving papers, yes, they help a lot.
I see.
So the parents should take care that they solve the paper. At the same time, they should give the break. In fact, we went for the vacations also in between the PSLE. We used
Wow.
to in Singapore only, so we used to go for a vacation, a
I
short
see.
trip.
Even during the P6 year, you did that.
There also we went.
That's amazing because this is something unique. Not many families they have the, I would say, courage, or maybe they are worried that they are wasting time. But the vacation probably help in recharging.
Rejuvenating yourself
then
also
when
and
you
your
come
child
back,
also.
I see, I see. Sorry, Ananya, you said something as well?
when you come back from holiday, you're just refreshed. You have a fresh mind, so you can start over again.
Yes, 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 definitely. It's like, all of us are, we need that break, right? All of us. We have limited energy, limited focus. It's a limit that we have. So that limit actually, we need to recharge it, and going on a break and all really, really helps. Yeah, so thank you very much.
Also, for the parents also, and that should be discussed with the kid actually, when to do, what to do. Because for Ananya, she first always tried to do maths first. So that was her thing. The day starts by doing maths. As I told you, she had affinity towards maths. So first thing she will take maths.
I
Language is the last part she will do because she doesn't like language that much, especially her mother tongue. So Hindi. So that was the last thing she used to put. So it all depends on what they like, what children like, rather than we pushing in.
Mhm.
It's always the children what they like. So it should be like 50-50, you
Yeah,
should
yeah,
listen.
yeah. And perhaps like, starting with what they like gives them the encouragement, the motivation to continue, right? The momentum as well.
Motivation to do the better. Max
That's
needs consistent practicing. So yes.
Yes, 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 yes. Great, great. So that's really useful tips from you, Miss Priya. So if I may summarize, you mentioned number one, not to stress the child because every child is different. Parents should understand the emotional state of the child, which is growing as well. It's pretty important. Secondly, is to talk to the child, give positive encouragement as well. That's really, really important. And not to be worried about taking breaks. That's the next key point that you mentioned. And all of this really, really helps to build a positive environment for the family. And at the end, the child can actually achieve their true potential as well.
One more
For
thing is that sleep. Sleep is very, very important. Ananya used to
ah,
sleep by 9:30, even during the PSLE study. Any time she never studied more than 10 o'clock.
Because if I
9,
stay
9.
more than 10 o'clock, I will start napping.
She
Like
will
in the
just
middle
doze
of
off.
lesson.
So like 9 o'clock she finishes everything, and by 9 o'clock she's in the bed. whether
That's
you do
great.
it or not. So that's
Wow.
how she used to
That's
work.
pretty early, you know. That's pretty early to
9 o'clock.
sleep.
Here also, now also she's sleeping at 9 o'clock. She doesn't stretch.
Yeah, I think that hours of sleep is important for a child.
Very much important for the child. At the same time, nutritional food.
Yeah,
Uh,
yeah. So this is something often underestimated. So again, students out there, many of them, they think that again, cramming is very important. Cram, 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 right? But they forget about that, the body, the health part of it, right?
because
That
finally, during when you work fully for 360 days and during the PSLE time, if you're sick, it doesn't make any sense, right? So you're
yes,
working
you
for
don't
the
have chance to show your skills also then.
so
Yeah,
the child should be relaxed. Basically, the child should be relaxed, and the physical and emotional both well-being should be taken into consideration.
certainly, certainly. This is a very key aspect that we often forget because we always think that it's all about the studies and the problem sums and all. What about the other more important thing, which is our body itself, which is the fuel and the energy and the engine that drives us, right? Yeah. So really, really appreciate your time, Miss Priya and Ananya. And yeah, I mean, definitely parents out there will be finding this very beneficial. And I really want to thank you as well for the chance to teach Ananya for her very important exam. You gave us a chance to teach. So I really hope that she benefited more than her grades. She's more motivated and, driven to do the next adventure that she's on.